All right, guys, we in JJ. I've got a little project that I've been interested in doing, seeing if I could make it work. I put my air conditioner in, and now it's starting to turn fall. Weather's getting to be beautiful, cool evenings, cool mornings. Don't use my air conditioner that much right now. I'm sure that we will have some more hot weather coming. So as of right now, I have my air compressor unplugged under the hood. So when I move my selector over here to the vent, my air compressor don't come on and start trying to cool with this all the way over here on the hot. So when my air compressor is plugged in, when I move it there, I get my vent air and everything, but the air compressor is running needlessly. I know you need to run your air compressor through the year to keep the oil flowing through the system. When I say what I'm about to say, people's gonna have a panic attack. I've read forums about it and stuff, but I'm going to hook a toggle switch to my air compressor, and I'm going to put it right here. And before you have a panic attack, I'm not hooking a toggle switch to my air compressor because it don't come on and cut off through the system. My system works perfectly. That's the only way I would advise doing what I'm about to do. All I'm going to do is take my signal wire from the air compressor and run it through a toggle switch. And when I get ready for that air compressor to lose signal until I tell it otherwise, I can flip this toggle switch to off. And so there's people that wants to hook toggle switches to the air compressor with just to hook a 12-volt power to it so it'll cut on and run all the time. When you do that, your high pressure switches, your cycling switch, none of that stuff is working. So the air compressor is in an unsafe environment and you can destroy it and run your whole AC system. All I'm doing is controlling the signal that's already going to the air compressor from an operating system that everything works correctly. And I'm just cutting the power to that signal, not letting it go through the toggle switch here. So totally safe, nothing wrong with it at all. That's my idea anyway. So I'm going to go out here under the hood. I'm going to splice into my air compressor coil wire, and I'm going to see if I can actually have the air compressor running through the correct wire that cuts it on and tells it when to cut off, and see if I can cut it off with this wire. This right here should be on. I'm thinking that should be off. So, and it's even got a light on it. So anyway, let's get out there and see if I can get that done. So this is my air compressor coil wire. This is the plug that it plugs into. It gets its signal when all these the high pressure switch and the cycling switch, when all that stuff is working correctly and there's enough freon in the system. This right here will cut power on to this wire, which then in turn engages the clutch, and your air compressor is now cooling your environment. So all I'm doing is hooking between these two wires with a toggle switch. I'm not changing anything to the system. I'm just being allowed to control what this signal wire does. I'm not bypassing any of these. So this is different than people on the internet forums saying, hey, can I hook a toggle switch to my air compressor to make it cut on? This is totally different. When I cut this switch on and leave it on, and these high pressure switches sense this pressure is getting a little high and the compressor needs to cut off, this will not interfere at all. The signal will go through this and it will still be able to disengage the clutch. It will still be able to disengage the clutch on the air compressor. So anyway, I want to try to just see if I can't tap into those and see if I can make sure that my theory does work. Okay, what I'm about to show you here is making this connection with the toggle switch off, and then once again making the connection with the toggle switch cut on. First one's going to be off. So this toggle switch works perfectly for bridging that connection when it's off. no power to the compressor. When it's on, the compressor starts running. So anyway, I'm good to go hook it up inside now. Okay, so somebody's already put some ugly toggles in there. They drilled holes, I guess through, I don't know. I want to have a toggle left. I want to move this one to right here, maybe move one of these ugly ones all the way to the edge. Wish I had another blank to put right there, because I only need one spot for what I'm doing right now. I don't have a light bar or anything. Let me see if I can get this off. If y'all know where to get any of these blanks at, or if you got one laying around you'd like to donate to JJ, I'd be glad to take it. Get it off your hands if you're not using it, because I'd rather not put that old blue toggle switch back in there, but right now I'm going to. Time for the moment of truth. Looks pretty good. Looks OEM. Alright, I gotta get some wires coming from the compressor into my dash here. Gotta see how where I'm gonna run them. There's a place in the firewall over there where my throttle cable comes through. Another harness comes through right here. I can see all the way up in the cab on that throttle cable, which I one day need to replace. It's jerry rigged. It works great actually, so I hadn't bothered fixing it. So I would probably go straight in there beside that throttle cable. Y'all can't see what I'm doing way down here, but this wire is short that goes to the compressor coil wire, so I ain't got enough to get it up here where the camera's at, and I ain't got nobody to hold the camera. It's gonna have to open up. Alright, before I mount my wires, let me go in here and see if this is hooked up correctly, because those type connectors can be very finicky. One to the signal. Other one to the coil. These don't matter which way they're hooked up, because all this does is make a connection. So let me fire this puppy up, and the light won't come on right now because I don't have a ground. I'm going to hook a ground up before I get done with this installation tonight. Working like a charm. I love it. All right, now all I gotta do is locate me a ground wire. I believe I'll take my controls out and see if I can tap into one right there with one of those blue clips I was using out in the engine bay. I see a ground wire. Over here. All right, guys, I've got it installed. I know it's getting dark, but I told y'all earlier that it didn't matter which wire hooked to the red and which wire hooked to the white. The black is obviously ground. Well, to make the compressor work, it does not matter which wire you connect to white and which wire you connect to red. But to make the LED function properly, it does matter. So what I ran into with the way that I had it connected, my LED stayed on all the time when this button was slid over to the on position where it's at now. When I got it wired correctly, the LED only comes on when the air compressor is running. So let me cut everything off. I want to crank it, and I'm going to flip the switch on with all this off, and you'll see that the LED does not come on because there's no power there. I'm going to cut it back off. I'm going to cut my vents on, which would normally cut my compressor on. You can tell that I don't have any LED, no power going to the compressor, and now when I put the compressor on, I have air conditioning. So in the summer, that button will stay on all the time. The LED will go out with the controls right here, cutting the compressor off. So all this does is interrupt the signal wire going to the compressor. It don't hurt anything to do what I've done. The only side effect is you will need to remember two or three times during the winter to cut that thing on for a few minutes and let your air compressor run to circle all the coolant and all the oil in the system. That's the only side effect. I haven't heard anything. I haven't bypassed any safety features or anything. So I'm going down through the road, and say I've got my air conditioning blowing and it's getting a little colder than I want. I just cut my compressor off. So anyway, I'm really excited about this, guys. I wanted to do this for a long time. I can't believe I found a button that actually had compressor written on it, and I'm sure that's for a onboard air compressor, but actually it cuts my air compressor on. So anyway, I know I'm starting to ramble a little bit, and guys, that's going to wrap up this video. I hope some of you found it beneficial. If you've added air to a non-air Jeep and you've used the same controls like I have, this is something you can very well do, and it works great. I just love it. It's on, my air conditioner's on right now. So anyway, that's all of this video. I know it wasn't too in-depth or anything, but it's something that y'all might find useful. I hope it is. I hope I make videos that y'all do find useful. And Y'all come back next time. We'll see what we got going then. And if you hadn't, please like and subscribe. See y'all later.
Yeah.